And I'm just like, I can't let you go until you're very comfortable with supper.
All right, so any questions on the graphing of the quadratics, the homework? I'm sure you all finished that, yes? No questions? Y'all are okay? You sure? All right, so should we do one? Should we start class with one? Let's get an ugly one here. Let's look at these homework ones. Nah. Those are all too friendly. How about I just make one up? That's what we'll do. All right, here we go. So we're going to sketch f of x equals negative 3x squared plus 5x plus 1. There we go. So this would be a good example, I think, of a problem that you'd see on an exam, asking you to sketch this. So let's see, do you all remember the steps? Let's see if you do. I've got my little sticks over here. Devin, you weren't here yet last time, right? Okay. So I think I posted the video. I will.
I watched it.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, so do you know the step? The first step?
See if it's up, right?
Can you all believe this guy? Good job. All right. That's exactly why I put the videos out there. So I'm glad you actually used that. Okay, so it opens up, right?
Yeah.
Well, we have to make sure it's quadratic, right?
Yes.
That's the first thing. So it's quadratic. Okay, so then it opens up. And we know that, oh wait, is it up? Hold on.
Down.
Sorry, it's down. Yeah, it's down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's down. All right. It's down, why?
Because the negative.
Negative 3, right? Okay. Good job. We'll move on. Devin's out. Frank, we'll wake you up. How you doing, Frank? Remember the next step? You got it written down somewhere, right? Opens down because A is equal to vertex. Good. Okay, so for the vertex, I gave you a formula, right?
Yeah.
So we have to find two things. We have to find H and we have to find K. So Frank, how do we find H? What's the formula I gave you last class to find H?
H equals negative b
Okay.
by 2a.
Okay, negative b divided by 2 times a. So for us, Frank, what's negative b for us in this problem?
Negative 5.
-5, we all agree? Okay, we're going to divide that by what? 2 times negative 3. So we have a negative number on top, negative 5, divided by 2 times negative 3 is negative 6, right? A negative divided by negative is positive, but that's not a nice number, right? That's decimal. So, you know, you get on your calculator and you figure it out. You get your decimal. It's like 0.8333, something like that. So I'm just going to put that down here. This is 0.833, but it's positive. Make sure you have it positive, right? Because if it's wrong there, it's going to throw everything off. Okay, good. We'll let you at least let us get started on K. Frank, how do we find K?
F of h.
F of h. So we're going to take this answer, plug it into the original function. So this is going to be f of 0.833, which means we have to take negative 3, multiply that by 0.0833, square that, add 5 times 0.833, and then plus 1. So this is, it looks ugly. You just have to follow your order of operations. So what order of operation comes first here? This is to everyone. Frank's off the hook. What's that? Do what's in parentheses, okay. So there's really nothing in the parentheses I can do, right? Those are just the numbers 0.833. So after parentheses, what do we do? Exponents, right? So I'm going to square this first, right? It's very important that you do not multiply those before you do the squaring, right? So square that first. Let's go ahead and do that. So again, my calculator, 0.8. I only did like 2 3s, okay? If you want to do 4 of them, 5 of them, you can. Just don't put 0.8, okay? Go at least 2 decimals. Square that. So here's what I get. -3. When I square that on my calculator, I get 0.693 or 4, I'll round. And then plus, while I'm doing this, I'm going to go ahead and multiply these together. So again, on my calculator, 5 times 0.833, I get 4.165, and then plus 1. Now I'll do -3 times that. So I'll continue this up here. I get equals, so this times this, I get -2.082. Then I have my plus 4.165, then plus 1, and then I add those all together, or put those all together. Anyone have it? No? So make sure that before our next exam you are practicing on your calculator, right? And speaking of next exam, it's on the 30th, okay? The 30th, which is not next week. No, it is next week. That's next Wednesday. Okay, so, yeah, so next Wednesday, make sure. What's that? What? Oh, I thought you were talking to me. Okay. Did anyone else get this? Confirm, yes? Okay. So we have a vertex now, right? We have the x-coordinate, which is this, and then the y-coordinate. So I'm going to write the vertex down over here as a point. Is a point 0.833, comma, 3.083. All right, and then I'm going to erase all this work because I'm done with the vertex. Let's see, it opens down. What's our next step, Macy? Macy? What's our next step, Macy? Quick sketch. Okay. Do you remember why I told you to do a quick sketch? Why you should probably go and do this step? Yeah, this will tell us whether or not we have X-intercepts or not. So we draw a quick sketch. I'm going to do just real fast now. What part, Macy, am I going to put on this sketch that's going to help me determine if I have X-intercepts? The vertex, right? So the vertex, all that matters is that 0.83 means we move to the right, yes? And 3.083 means we move up. I don't really care where I am, just that I'm over and up. So my vertex is somewhere over there. And then I open which way? Down, right? From that point's the highest point on my graph then. So I know I've got 2 X-intercepts. Just by looking, right? 2 X-intercepts. Okay, well, if I have 2 X-intercepts, I need to go find them, and that's step 5, right? Andrea? Where's Andrea? Celia? How do we find the X-intercepts for a quadratic function? Yes, we might factor it. We do take this, but we have to do something with it. Here, I take that, but I have to do one more little thing here. 'Cause right now, this is just an expression. I have to make an equation out of it, right? Set it equal to 0. Okay, that's how you always find the x-intercepts of a quadratic. You set the function equal to 0. So now we look at that and we say, okay, can we factor that? Maybe. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think factoring is going to work here. So if we can't factor it, what do we use? Quadratic formula. Okay? The quadratic formula. So I'll write it down here again. Remember I said I will provide you the quadratic formula, right? What I'm not going to provide you on the test is what you have to do to find the x-intercepts. I will tell you sketch, right? I will tell you, does it open up or down? I'll tell you find the vertex. I'll tell you find the x-intercepts, find the y-intercepts. But I won't tell you how to do that. So even though I'll tell you find them, you need to know to set it equal to 0, right? Okay, so now quadratic formula. What would it be, Sylvia? What would my solutions to this would be? Negative b, which is what? Minus 5. Okay, plus or minus square root. Okay, what goes here, Sylvia? Okay, which is 25, then minus 4, and then a, and then c, right? So what's a here? Minus 3, 1. Okay. So Sylvia, when I put these together, is it going to wind up being a plus or a minus on this? Plus, because you have 2 negatives, right? So 2 negatives mean we're going to have a plus here. And this is all over 2 times negative 3. Okay, so now, negative 5, plus or minus, square root, 25. Sylvia said plus, and then multiply those, right? So we just get 12 there. Then all of this over what number? Bless you. Minus 6. Okay. Still working. Sylvia, you're done. Okay, this is equal to negative 5, plus or minus. All right, what's underneath the square root, Josh? What's underneath this thing? 37, and then over negative 6. Did the packet of quizzes get passed around? It's supposed to be getting passed around. Did it get to everyone? Yeah, leftovers here. Anyone still need theirs? This is the quiz that you had that you did in class, but if you didn't finish it, you took it home. No? Okay, everyone's got it. Okay, so now we've got that. Now what do we do? Okay, this divided by this? Square root first, right? You have to take square root of 37 first, all right? So now on your calculator you do that. Negative 5, plus or minus. Let's see if you get it. Square root of 37. Okay, so remember how I said to do that when you type it in again? Square root 37.0. And then hit enter. Then it'll give you the decimal. 6.08. Okay, so 6.08 all over negative 6, right? Okay. So remember, we have to do all of the top before we divide by negative 6. So this is where you do your 2 cases. So this is equal to, I'll have the plus, and I'll have the minus down here. So if I do plus, it's negative 5 plus 6.08, then divide that by negative 6, and then if I do minus, it's this. Ooh. All right, so how about Evan? I see you plugging away. Let me know if you get one of those. And while Evan's doing the top one, Milena, you do the bottom one? You do this one? You have it? What do you got for this one? Is it negative? It's positive. So you added you did this first, right, on your calculator, and then you hit enter, and then you divide by -6, and you got what? 3.99? Really? Okay. What did you get?
Negative 0.18.
-0.18. Okay. No, you're shaking your head. No. What's wrong?
For the bottom one, I got 1.85.
You got 1.85. Okay, so Milena, let me ask you, did you try and type it all in at one time? Okay, so I'm glad that you did that because I don't want y'all making that mistake on the test. If you do -5 minus 6.08 divided by 6 on your calculator, if you type it in just like that, you type in -5 minus 6.08 divided by -6. If you do that, what your calculator does is it does order of operations. So it does this first. It divides those and then it does the 5. So in other words, it's going to be dividing this before it puts those together, and that's wrong. So what I suggest you do is type into your calculator this, okay, then hit enter, and then hit divide by -6, and that will give you, did you redo it? 1.85? Okay, now we all agree? Yes? Okay. So just be careful on that. I don't want that to catch up to you on the test. Because what will happen is you'll go to graph it, things will look wrong, then you won't know where the mistake is, and you're going to wind up spending 15 minutes trying to figure out what's wrong. Okay? All right. Done? We've got the two X-intercepts. These are X-intercepts. These lie on our X-axis. What is the next step, Alex? Alex? Where's Alex? No Alex? Caroline? No. Okay.
Next step is to find the Y.
Y-intercept, and this is step 6, right? I believe it's step 6. Yeah, we're on step 6. The Y-intercept. Caroline, how do we find the Y-intercept?
The Y-intercept is 1.
It's always just going to be the 1. It's going to be this number out here, right? So that's going to be 1. Y equals 1, and we're done. So Caroline got the easy one, but we'll make her sketch it now, okay? So Caroline, I just erased all the information I need, so I'm going to be relying on you now. Okay, so we're going for the final picture. Okay, when you draw this final picture, what I suggest you do before you start drawing anything is look at your vertex. Where's your vertex? Where is it, Caroline?
It's at 3.083.
That's the H and K. What was the X coordinate or the H? Was it like 0.83 or something?
0.083.
0.083. So that's like close to 1, but not quite 1, right? So we're going to have to go to the right about 1, and then go up how much?
About 3.
About 3, okay. So we're going to go to the right about 1 and up about 3. And then what about our X-intercepts? What were those?
As for negative 0.18.
Negative 0.18 would be somewhere over here, and then positive 1 point something. So what I'm trying to figure out is like, how big should I be drawing this? Like, should I be doing this? 1, 2, 3, right? Like this would really make it hard because I have to squeeze everything in this little space. Does that make sense? So if you look at your information first, realize that your X-intercepts, really you're only going to have to go out, you won't even have to go out past 2, right? And then for your Y, your vertex, you only have to go up about 3. So that's going to kind of help guide me when I'm drawing this. That makes sense what I'm saying? Okay. All right, Caroline, so vertex, 0.83. I'm going to draw what on my graph then for the vertex? A dot, right? So I'm going to go out to the right, 0.83. I'm going to go up. You said it was what? I forgot already. 3-ish?
Yeah.
Okay, so when I draw that dot, I'm actually going to label it. And it wasn't exactly 3, right? 3.083. Okay, so there we go. So I've labeled my vertex. Next thing I should do,
Is mark the X-intercept.
mark the X-intercepts, which you said was negative 0.18. Okay, so negative 0.18, and then the other one was
1.85.
1.85. Sorry, I didn't need this in parentheses. I'm just going to leave it like that.
And then the y-intercept is 1.
Y-intercept is 1. Okay, and we're ready to draw. So when we draw this, Kristen, what am I going to draw?
So you're going to start on the left side because it has the y-intercept.
Yep, the left side has more information, so it's going to help guide that. And then I'm going to draw what? This V with a very sharp point at the tip of it, right? Got to curve it, right? So, I don't know, do your best, right? And then pretty much like the same thing on the other side. Yeah, so that axis of symmetry is optional. You don't have to do it. If you want to, you can. I'm not going to require you do it, but if you imagine a line down the middle, it should be pretty much a mirror image of itself, which that would be okay. Yes.
So like, let's say on the test, you want us to label the vertex and the intercepts?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to, because what I'd like to do is I'd like to be able to look at it and be able to say if it's right or wrong. Okay, because if you have all this information, that means you've solved everything, right? Right? So, and I will look at your work, okay, I will, but usually if I just look at the graph, I know, okay, this student looks like they did it right, and then I just do a quick glance of the work, right? All right, that's it. That's how we graph.
What if we like draw it proportionally? Like, say we're right, but we just drawing isn't as accurate.
Well, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you know, like I said, I don't want you to do this, you know, where you're like, you know, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I don't want you to be doing this and trying to draw this little parabola in this big old space, you know? Kind of zoom in on that a little bit, make it look a little, so I can see more detail. If you get all the work right, but your drawing's off, you're going to lose probably like 3 points out of 10. So you'll still pass the problem, but you won't. Part of this is the drawing also. Does that answer your question, Frank? Okay. Just do your best. Practice with the homework. You'll get better at it. Okay, I want to do another 2 problems before we start our applications. So the next problem I'd like to do is going to be, let's see, f of x is equal to, let me just think about this, x squared minus 4x plus 4. Okay, we're going to go a little faster through this one. I'm not going to pull sticks. We're just going to move quick, all right? So the first step is to recognize that it's quadratic. Okay, it's quadratic. It opens which way? Up. Okay. Vertex, I have to find h, so I take negative b divided by 2 times a. For us, negative b is what here? For us? It's 4, okay, and then over 2 times what number? 1, okay, so now we have 4 over 2, which is just 2, right? Okay, what about k? Plug that answer into this, right? So we want to plug 2 into that. We get 2 squared minus 4 times 2 plus 4. And that comes out to be 0. It's 4 minus 8 plus 4, and that comes out to be 0. So our vertex is the point 2, 0. Y'all following? I know I'm moving fast, but step 4 is what? Quick sketch. Okay, so now when I do my quick sketch, where's my vertex? 2, 0, right? That means move to the right 2, and don't go up or down. So, I mean, I don't need to label it 2. I will just for this one, just because this is kind of a special case. From there, my parabola opens which way? Up, right? And that's the lowest point. So it goes like that, goes like that. Okay, what can you tell me then about the X-intercepts? I just have 1, right? I just have 1. The vertex itself is the X-intercept. Do y'all see that? So should I do step 5? No. Could you do step 5? Sure, but you're wasting time because you don't need to do it. So we have, for 5, we have an X-intercept, but we already know it. It's that 0.20 from this. Is that clear? Are there any questions? All right, so I move on to step 6. Step 6 is the Y-intercept. And the Y-intercept, I just look at the number out there, it's 4, right? Okay, that's it. I should be able to draw this now. So when I draw this, this is my final picture here. I start with the vertex, which is the 0.20, right? See, Frank, see my drawing? I'm going to start over because I realize now that my Y-intercept is at 4, so I'm just going to try to tweak this a little bit. I'm going to start this over. So I'm going to go like this. I know my Y-intercept is at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2. Okay, so I have my vertex there. See, now it's going to fit a little better. And then my Y-intercept is at 4, so I put that here. And this thing opens up. But I don't have any other points, right? All I have is those two. So I've got to draw this U. And maybe that axis of symmetry will help me a little bit here. I'm going to draw the left side first, right? Is that obvious? Because I have only that one point. So I'm just going to make sure it looks like a U here. And then try and, let's see, what are you on? Step back. That's good, right? Look good? Not so good, right? That's not so good. That's terrible, right? You see, I mean, you need to make it look symmetric, right? Do your best. That wouldn't be good. The first one I did wouldn't be good. That's good, okay? Close enough, all right? Understand? So this problem went a little faster because you didn't have to really do this step. But your graph, you have a little less information. You only have 1 point on one side instead of 2 points on one side like we've had in the previous problems. Okay, one more. Let's do one more. Let's do the same problem, okay? The same problem right here. But I'm just going to change this 4 to a 12. Yeah. All right, so let's go through this. All right, still opens up. Or sorry, still is a quadratic. Still opens up. Has the vertex changed? Yes, the vertex has changed. Now, the h has not changed. H is going to be the same because we still do negative b over 2a. Do you all understand? H is still the same calculation, but the k is different because when we put the k in this time, we're going to plug it into a different formula, so we're going to get something different. So k should be f of 2, which is 2 squared. Am I moving too fast, or are y'all okay with this? Please feel free to respond when I ask questions. A little too fast? Okay, I can slow down. See what this is here. 4 minus 8 plus 12. What is that number right there? 8. Okay, so we have 8. It's hard to draw that. Okay, so our vertex is the 0.28. Okay, quick sketch, right? That's our next step. Quick sketch. We go, our vertex, we're going to move to the right 2 and up 8. So over 2, up 8, my vertex is going to be somewhere over here. And it opens which way? Up. Opens up. Well, if it opens up, I don't have any x-intercepts, do I? I don't. And so step 5, I have no information. Okay, no X-intercepts. Now, how about step 6? Step 6, I do have some information, right? Step 6 is the Y-intercepts, or Y-intercept, and that happens where? 12, right? So again, I only have 2 points for this one. I have the vertex and I have a Y-intercept. So I'm going to try and draw the best I can off of that minimal information. All right, my vertex is at 2, 8, and my Y-intercept is at 12. So I think the way I'll do this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, something like that. There's 12 right there. And then this way, I'll go like 1, 2, 3, 4. So we talked about this in the past. Like you don't have to have your scale the same way. Like this way it can be, bigger gaps between the numbers. This way you can compress it. So I'll put my vertex first. My vertex is at 2 and then up 8. There's 8 right there. So 2 8s right there. I should label it. And then my Y-intercept is at 12, right? And that's all I've got. And it opens up. So this. And here we go. Close enough. Is that all right or not? All right, so I think I've given you an example of every scenario here. I think last class we did at least one problem where you had 2 X-intercepts, and then we started class with a problem where you had 2 X-intercepts. I gave you an example where you have 1 X-intercept, and now an example where you have no X-intercepts. So those are the 3 scenarios we can have. Okay, you ready to start doing some applications, some word problems? Please calm down, okay? Calm down. So I'm gonna try and make this somewhat interesting. All right, try to. So when I was a student in algebra, the problems that we did when we started to do applications is something like this, where you have like a person standing on a cliff and they throw a rock off the cliff. Okay, and that's how we started the whole discussion, all right? Which we can do that, but I think we can approach it a different way, because I think you might retain it a little better if we make impact us a little more. So I think I'm trying to debate right now whether or not I want to record this or not. What's that? Yeah. You know where I'm going then, I guess. Don't risk it. Yeah, I think I'm going to stop it. Yeah, it's only because it's 2019 and everyone's so damn sensitive that I could just say, I could breathe.